they're way more willing to just put the Victor bot, have a super self-sufficient wave clearing mid to allow the support to walk top as much as they want. They're not in the Syndra here, and we don't really know where they go. Syndra can go mid, Victor can go mid. Both are fine matchups into Casio. Shut down this Vayne, and this was the plan that Team Heretics set up.
Brokenblade has a big wave stacked up, trying to trade back onto Tracing. Flash auto would be enough, he just kills him! Tracing doesn't flash away in time. Ishtar's gets knocked back, but Brokenblade still has the exhaust, as you say. Takes tower shot, flash condemned from BB. Silver bolts, but Douglas gets the flash with the shield just in time.
Versus mage matchups. You know, when the supports are there, they're just there to catch XP. It's like a mandatory service to just show up now and then they're just gonna leave. Yeah, there it goes.
Team one dragon. Yeah. For the jungler's mentality though, 3 crabs, 100%. A 7. Caught out in the Cataclysm. Caps looking for the chase. Noxious Blast, Twin Fangs, Miasma down. The Unleashed Power does not have enough oomph behind it.
With the Vayne, with the Casio, Team Heretics is just 2 mages.
Away. Flash taunt onto Brokenblade, puts down the Spirit's Refuge as well. BB exhausts Tracing, tries to turn it around as the heal comes out from Wade, but Brokenblade just needs a couple more auto attacks here. Dashes forward with the tumble. BB wins the 2v1. Douglas looking at the Ishtar killed the Vayne. By the time that goes down, you're just getting chased down.
Yeah, I don't envy Tracing's position in this game. No, not a single cell in me envies him right now.
The question is, can Heretics just maintain this 1.6k deficit and be okay with it? Do they have to force plays? Well, they are, with an Impale going down onto Skum on the Unleashed Power enough. 7 picks up that kill. Caps trying to chase Way down as LeBron goes forward with the Pulverize. Headbutt back as well after the trample, and Way is dead. Will be a 1-for-1 exchange in the mid lane, but if you're Heretics, you take that.
Absolutely. Because you don't want to extend the trade, just because when Ambessa's used all her dashes, she's very kiteable. It's very hard for her to then approach the enemy champion. So just going in, weaving in for a quick trade.
Caps not very kiteable, as Seven's chased down, Miasma out, Caps takes the tower shot, Stand United, Scatter the Weak, Caps will not get him, as Way arrives in time with heal and locket to save his mid laner's life.
Way had to work overtime for saving him. He had to throw everything, kitchen sink and all, just to save Seren. I mean, it's still just a Stand United.
They get Caps' flash, which is nice.
I mean, in the end, Heretics is not sad about that, but will get Brokenblade. Oh, power execution.
Brokenblade pops down the exhaust, and now Tracing will find that he's very kiteable as he gets chased down by Brokenblade. Skumon cataclysms in just to make sure. Then, shall we?
I'll put entropy.
Find some emollients for you.
We'll see if Tracing's gonna TP in here. Doesn't have the public. Ooh, good Scatter the Weak comes out by Labro.
Heretics have first position on this, as 7 does use that Scatter the Weak. Unbreakable Will coming out from LeBron. As you say, Ambessa's not here, but look at the damage already down onto G2. TP now coming in from Ambessa. Caps thankfully Hex Drake. Nice. Another Scatter the Weak. Sun Summer and Skumon feel the pain of the Dark Sphere. A third Drake for Heretics is huge. Hex Drake as well. Soul on the horizon. G2 have to call off a fight.
I mean, the first dragon, not a problem. The second dragon, a nuisance. The third dragon is dangerous.
Yeah.
G2 losing.
Will not ignore the fact their top laner is 2,500 gold ahead and is at 2 items, and they'll take the bot tier 1 with his assistance.
But we're starting to see the plan.
I just like action. I feel like there's more action if they go for a Baron.
Brokenblade has to be careful though.
Ishtar's impact gets the CC on him. There's the Impale, does land the Condemn, Flash taunt in as well. The damage follows up with 7. And a Scatter the Weak. Way getting the shutdown, not where Heretics would have wanted it to go, but a kill alongside the top lane tier 1, or at least some plates out of it. Very advantageous for Heretics.
It's a big mistake from Brokenblade, not reading the map state very well there, something that we always praised him for, but it was clear to us because we see that they're giving the dragon. But for G2, they were not sure what Heretics were doing, and Brokenblade was like, I'm gonna clear a top wave and we're to TP down, but Heretics already had set the trap. What I like by Heretics there is they committed early to giving the dragon. They made it super clear in their own team comps and with how they played that they were not contesting the dragon, and that's why they were so early on the cross map. A lot of the times we see teams decide when dragon just spawned, okay, we can't fight this, we're gonna cross map. It's too late. Heretics, good plan making, and manages to get a shutdown on the Brokenblade. This is one of the fastest Baron comps I've ever seen. Heretics has to respond super fast to this or it's just going to go down.
No faster alterations either for Heretics. They can't actually get vision in the middle of the pit right now. As this Husband comes out from Douglas, he tries to get onto LeBron, but there's the Baron already for G2. LeBron's going to distract the rest of Heretics as G2 walk away as 4. Sacrifice their cow, but the gods have blessed them with a Baron.
I think you take that as Brokenblade and Caps. Might be doing something, but they were
Cap's going to get spotted on vision. BB has yet to be spotted. Recall's coming out. Brokenblade.
Make sure you secure the dragon. Get 1 or 2 tier 2s. Maybe they can go get the tier 2 mid here as well because they have 2 minutes until the dragon spawns. But yeah, so far so good by G2. How much that G2 sees is they have all the vision control here, and they're working completely blind there.
Dagler's going to be the one to face check.
Caps on the flank. Broken there on the flank.
Heretics should know Caps is here. He cleared out a ward, scattered the weak, public execution. There's the follow-up in the broke play, but he's got the QSS. Exhaust tracing. Meanwhile on the back line, Unleash Power goes into Lebrov. He's stunned. Cataclysm on the back, as well as Hype. Not knocked up by Skewmon, who went in with a flag and drag. Broken Blade losing out to Tracing. Almost dies. BB gets one, but Skewmon is down so far that Skewmon has fallen. Went in deep to the Heretics backline, couldn't find the CC. Valkyrie away from Hans Summer, scattered the weak. Goes between the uprights as well. Could spell G2's downfall. Tracing about to show on bot wave, which means Heretics, although they have cleared out this mid wave, will be in a 4v2. Petrifying Gaze coming out from Caps. There's TP in from Tracing as well as Rob tries to stand up. Unbreakable Will from the Alistair for a bit of tankiness. Miasma down. Scatter the weak on Broken Blade, but the Ambassador just dies as soon as she lands from that teleport. And now it's Heretics on the retreat. Now try and step back as G2 turn their attentions towards the Baron.
We're gonna see this. G2 doesn't feel confident starting the Baron right now because that Baron does so much damage. And we don't really have any turning tools right now except for that Cataclysm. Heretics, despite losing their Ambessa, she's not the core member of their comp right now. She's a little bit decorative, as Syndra and Victor are the main carries.
It's also just the weakness of Ambessa when you're TPing into the enemy team because Miasma exists for Caps.
Yeah.
Like, you come down and you have no dashes.
Look at BB's flank here, though. He's on vision.
Yeah, he's spotted as he TPs across. Caps trying to keep Heretics interested as Daglas looks for Lebrov. Skewmon goes in with the Cataclysm onto 7. Way with a Shadow Dash onto Broken Blade. Does get the taunt, Stand United on 7 as well, but he's already down. Hype now in the midst of G2 as they collapse around Heretics and take down 3.
And G2 entomb Heretics with all their members. They go from many different angles. And Heretics, they don't really have an escape path. You see, they're running through mid lane towards G2's base because that's the only way they can run with there are no G2 members. A good Cataclysm by the weird circle, but there's no way for them to run out anymore. Stand United comes out a little bit too late. Doesn't end up getting the dot. Potentially still TP down to the control that you're having onto the Dragon. So looks like they're gonna try to use all their TPs to then
roll out of Heretics' hands. Broken Blade trying to mark Tracing as he steps forward. Catches the wave now, scatter the weak on Skewmon, but he's got a GA, so he's not too worried about losing some of his health bar. Lebrov's still looking for the flank. It's G2 that have got total control of the river now. Only one ward in from Heretics. Lebrov with the knockback onto Wei needs to be cautious because he is isolated from the rest of his team. Hype trying to chase him down, as you say. BB does have a good angle on Tracing. Daglas goes behind the pit, and Ishtal's impact in could be enough to just sneak this one away. He jumps into the pit, scatter the weak pet, Brian Gates. The smite at 1 HP. It's G2 that get it. A Stand United on 7 as Skewmon goes deep away, and Hype are going to be unable to escape. The chase is down, the mage is dead as G2 wipe Heretics away.
Heretics try to go for a Project Hail Mary on the Dragon, but in the end they fall to the meat grinder of Broken Blade, who ends up in the flank there. They sent everything to give Douglas access into the Dragon pit, doesn't end up getting the smite, barely missed out of it. And now I think that's all she wrote, Medic, as G2 is marching onto the base of Team Heretics.
Just a maze from G2, as they will be able to chase down Douglas, who unfortunately has no damage, doesn't have enough Heartsteel stacks, and doesn't really have the tankiness to survive 5 members of G2. G2 in 35 minutes will go 1-0 up in this series. It was valiant from Heretics, but they couldn't keep back the oncoming storm.
TF is a good shout by BB. It's a miserable match for Casante. It's pretty difficult to play Sidon against Nefiri, just because it's so easy for Nefiri to just ult.
Squishy, yeah.
Nefiri just ult on the TF and then just save the W for the yellow card. Very tricky to get out of. So Broken Blade is going to have to play very...
And so the fact you call it, it amused me in that moment. Yeah, it is a helmet. You're 100% right.
So I want to talk a little bit about what happened bot here. A lot of trading. A lot of combat summoners used already, but look at where junglers are. Shincha was going to path. He's now adapted his pathing and is looping around bottom here for an early gank.
Yeah, he's spotted on vision, but Wei is way too far up here. Hansama flashing forward. Wei realizes he is dead. Skewmon looking to get at least an assist out of this. Needs an auto for it.
They're staggering to death.
I think it was, well, Skewmon hadn't hit anything.
No, they hit dive here maybe on Hansama. Okay. He's isolated. Labrov is really far away. Doesn't have any summoners.
Hans has nothing yet. There's the polymorph. Douglas comes across. Hans tries to dash away, but Hans is down. Great gank there.
But he's
just
here
so
now.
You can keep the gold. As you say, not here. Now, Hype's barrier is about to come off cooldown. Does have the flash. Wei has flash too. Polymorph down. Hype dead before his barrier comes back up. LeBron tanks enough tower shots to walk out. Skewmon not tanking anymore.
What a
as
nice
Wei
dive.
tries to trade. It's a great diving. Oh, Wei flashes in. Gets the kill onto LeBron. Knocked up with the 3 Talon strike. Skewmon's going to have to flash out. Will be a for a second.
Massive lead in
Skewmon now overtakes him. Yeah. But that's where Heretics' gold is sitting, right? So Douglas now needs to find ways to use the fact that he got that first kill. And as Hype is straight back, okay, Hype just loses that.
I mean,
that was
you have a call.
Oh, he just has to try and survive. That's why she's got the Doran's shield. Cap's just trying to clear out the wave as Destiny comes down. Gold card locked in for Broken Blade as well. The shockwave will pull both back, but there's not much damage behind Seven right now as he flashes. And he's met by the wild card.
You like stop saying it. And the one wave you don't say it, your mid laner dies.
Yeah, and it's like, where's my SS too? What's happening? It's the same with Ryze mid, right? When it's like Ryze can go, Ryze can go, Ryze can go, Ryze can go.
That's a luxury. He can literally just ult mid any wave he wants to in this matchup. It's just such a hard game to play for Seren. Already playing.
Should be able to get more plates and more gold. We often see this exchange in the early game when a team thinks that their lanes have more push because they can get more towards the top. As Tracin has mostly armor so far, and that deals well with Broken Blade, but not too well with the AP assassin that is Akali. Stun card, go through the Pathmaker, Shuriken flip from Caps. All out he goes, Caps dashes away with perfect execution. Now the redive is on. Wait for the tower to finish ramping up. Another stun card, and Tracin could play it, but for about 5 seconds.
Yeah, I think he had to buffer the stun card with his dash on the E-shield there, but
now Hype. Douglas on his way with the call of the pack as well as they'll look for the Hound's pursuit onto LeBron. Hype dead almost to Hans Summers. He gets the last autos in. Hans Summers dies to the dogs. Another call of the pack, but an Ultra Mega Fire Kick gets the knockback. Douglas still chasing. LeBron still has flash and uses it to get away from the Dark in Daggers. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, Broken Blade's killing Seren with the Destiny. And Seren is relegated to a coffin.
It's the kill. That's a killing dog, but right now he doesn't really have the tools to make the fight there. Hans Summer does a big chunk, but he goes in.
Onto the pack, onto Hans Summer. Wild Growth going down as well as they look for Douglas on towards this Lucian, but Lucian able to dash away just in time. And Analyst coming out, TP as well from Broken Blade. As Heretics pulled the trigger, but it's going to get answered on them as Skewmon dives in onto Hype. Douglas almost falls as well. Wei goes down. Douglas goes down as Caps dives onto the back line. And G2 just ripped through any opportunity Heretics have.
I mean, Douglas is just like, well, guys, what can I do? My one mode is go in, I'm a killing dog, and he just goes in.
Destiny on Seren.
Again.
He's got red card. Broken Blade. This isn't a World Cup.
Can we check VAR?
It's going to send him off, dude.
Oh my god. 5.8k gold. 8k gold lead for G2.
He hasn't left top lane. He hasn't been involved in anything, and this is the quintessential top lane experience.
I will tell you how to win K'Sante versus TF.
Okay.
As someone that has solo killed TF on stage as K'Sante. It's a very niche.
To just full go plates in the top side to Destiny down and kill Seren and get Caps into a position where he's 2k ahead now as well. Riptide Charge is going to take down the mid-tier.
Stall here. Heretics needs to be the one that does this dragon because pressure is on them. BB is just pushing. He can draw whenever he wants to.
And part of the problem of having vision control is Destiny exists as an ultimate and it gives you vision on every player. There we go. Heretics now entirely spotted out as Broken Blade continues just to push down the tower. Douglas caught out as he tries to go in. Gold card hits onto Tracin. Pathmaker's out, but Douglas is already dead. Caps diving onto the backline as well as he almost follows up with a kill on Wei. Hype goes down, and all Hype for Heretics is well and truly done in this game. 3 kills to G2. They don't even take
at this angle, and G2 are, I mean, Heretics are all just grouping here, making it super easy for them because the pressure is on Heretics. What are we going to do? Yeah, and I will say, after seeing so many messy games in our league, Medic, after seeing a lot of sloppy game finishes, seeing G2 play this confidently so well is refreshing. They are absolutely playing correct here.
Hound's pursuit, shockwave on Broken Blade, and there's your engage from Heretics. And unsurprisingly, it did not come to fruition.
Caps on the sideline. Okay, that's not gonna flash in there.
That would have been very greedy. He also doesn't have flash, so it would have been quite miraculous.
He's not gonna flash in there.
Entirely right, Finn. Yeah. I'm sorry for ever doubting you, my friend.
Yeah, that was the engage. It was middling at best.
Yeah, I mean, they attempted something, and you have to give credit to that, right? Participation awards, we still give them out. This award will be, hey, you get to go home early, it's a 2-0 series. Reset, look for next week, you know?
Yeah. G2 definitely padding their stats. 15k gold up at 23 minutes.
Oh, that's true. This is going to ruin all of our numbers for the rest of the split. Yeah. It would be like, oh, do you know G2 on average at 12,500 gold ahead at 15.
Almost like when you play against GT, you almost have to go second pick because giving DB that counter pick is just so detrimental, especially when you
are drastically right for Heretics. Tracing away and Hype trying to defend this tier 3 on the bot side as the super minions start to hit the Nexus towers in top. Mid lane is shepherded in by Caps as well, as he'll be able to take the inhib tower. Douglas tries to dive in onto Skewman, but Investment Guard down means that Douglas just doesn't have the damage to get through Skew, and all of Heretics have to retreat. A Destiny in from Broken Blade as he looks to try and backdoor. More of a distraction than anything else. Knows Douglas doesn't have the Hound's Pursuit, so no chase potential onto him, and G2, with their Twisted Fate distracting on the top side, can open up and take this tower. Heretics, no way to defend, as Wei has to wild growth himself and flash out. Rapid fire cannon from Broken Blade lands the stun onto Hype. And with triple inhibs down at 25 minutes, it is clean, it is calculated, it is methodical from G2. The flash infiltration is met by an ultra mega fire kick immediately. He goes back in with the path maker. But G2 just waiting for the next set of waves to come in with these supers.
They're not leaving Medic. Oh, they are leaving again.
No, they're going
back. They're not leaving Medic. They're going to stay in here until the game ends. Because what would they don't need the recall for? They didn't need item spikes. They're already 2 items over their counterparts.
It's a full Wolf of Wall Street moment. We're not going anywhere. So G2, as they continue to push in towards the Nexus towers. Super minions on the next wave. Doubles coming in every single lane. Hype caught out with a shuriken. Flip Caps decides not to take it. The Nexus tower is still healthy enough to be standing.
Yeah.
But a quick flow of air would blow over that top side one as Hans Summer, Call of the Pack, goes in. A great shockwave, but they just don't have the damage. It's a great combo. Douglas will get one. Tries to go back in onto Skewmon, who does die, but Caps and Broken Blade.
They got the fight, Medic!
They got the fight, man. Caps and Broken Blade just won the Nexus. Broken Blade dead, Caps still at half HP. LeBron needs to auto a couple of times. LeBron almost falls, Hype gets it, but Caps flashes in to take down the Nexus. Caps carry once again, gets the 50 gold in the end as G2 clean it up.
Happy birthday.
Wow.
Thank you.
So, if you could make a wish related to your competitive season, what could we wish for you?
Winning worlds.
Winning worlds, okay. Setting the bar high. I like it. We have a very fun fact for you, actually.
I know this one as well.
You know it as well?
I know already, yeah.
Maybe people don't. I'm going to say it like this. This is not the first time you face off against Team Heretics on your birthday. This is not the first time you beat Team Heretics 2-0 on your first day. The first time was when you were a jungler at BDS Academy, 2024, 2-0 against their academy. Last year as well with G2, and this year again. What is that about?
Yeah, I mean, I was actually looking at it as well, and it was a fun fact that I wanted to say, but I guess you guys know, you know everything, so it's kind of cool. So I mean, I guess thank you, Heretics, for this nice birthday again.
Yeah, again. Tell me about today's series. It looked easy. But yeah, how do you prep for games like this? Because you came up with something specific we've talked about in game 1. So not stacking Drakes, letting them go. Tell us about everything.
I think game 1 was like a bit slow for us, definitely. We didn't really find ways to just like play the game as we wanted to. We did like some tempo mistakes and they just like sacked Drakes, as you mentioned. But besides that, I think we had like some good team fights, so that was very nice. And I guess like second game was like more straightforward.
Yeah.
So do you think in that game 1, because we were kind of talking, we've seen some teams at the top level say, hey, we're actually going to forego first dragon, second dragon, play for gold, and then try and come back later on to make things happen. Was that the plan in game 1, or do you think it was just a couple of mistakes that led you to giving dragons over?
I think like the first 2 Drakes were like kind of mistakes in my opinion. Actually, the first one was not, because I think we got like Ambassador Flash, which is nice.
Yeah.
But it should like snowball into like diving her before the second Drake, which was like the plan. But we didn't manage to find a way to actually like link up on the proper wave. But yeah, I mean, besides that, they just had like good read on when to do them. So it was like a bit harder to find actually timing to yeah, just contest the dragons. So yeah, it was kind of our bet.
One question for you about game 1, because we know that G2 players are multi-role talents. BB can play Vayne, Caps can play Vayne, Hans can play Vayne. Which one is the best one? The best Vayne player at G2.
I mean, honestly, like BB's Vayne recently has been like really good. He's been performing really well. I didn't yet seen the Kaza's Vayne in action with me, of course. So I'm looking forward in the future for maybe like a Vayne flex. But so far, I think yeah, like BB's Vayne is probably the best.
And he was the Kia player of the series today. So any words for your top laner?
No, I mean deserve definitely. I think like the 1v2 like first game was like pretty crazy.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean like he played an amazing series. So good job to him.
Good job to him. Good job to you guys as well.
Thank you.
Smooth series and joyeux anniversaire. Happy birthday once again, Skimon. Thank you for joining us today. That's all for us here for now. We're going to be back in a few minutes. First things first, the rematch of Guess Who, Kaza versus Yehu, and then KC versus Fnatic. Stay tuned.
In draft, and you seeing it, you're a very smart analyst. Me seeing it, I'm a medium smart play-by-play.
My mother is sitting at a farm in Stockholm or outside of Stockholm right now, and she also saw the Vayne top coming.
Exactly, Finn. Like, how did Heretics fall into this trap? That's the question we've got to ask ourselves, because it was a trap. It was laid, it was obvious, and they said, oh, I'll just put my foot between these two pincers and see if this bear trap works.
Yeah, I mean, I think the read was that the mages are really good into the mages, but in the end, you need to survive the laning phase. As now, we're going to send it right down to the analyst desk so they can break down that game.
Break down that game. Huh. Let's see. No, but honestly, okay, there was an interesting approach from Heretics, even if it felt like it was a stomp. But before we get there, I want to talk about Vayne. Perks, we have to go Vayne. That's the new one in 2026, but it's coming from the top lane this time.
Vayne did break down that game. I really liked it. BB was having such a great performance. The 1v2, the first one, Trayson really feels the pressure. He really feels like, oh, I'm setting up the gank, but the wave is just so damn
That wave
big.
was insane!
Yeah, and this fight, you keep throwing members at the Vayne, but the exhaust and the fact that she's just power spiking so damn strong at level 6, you don't have enough damage. She's just too damn flexible and too damn mobile.
Yeah, and that's why I was kind of surprised that we end up seeing the Jhin ban coming through at the end of it. I really did think we'd end up seeing more focus on the Vayne and try and make sure that the Mbessa is in a decent spot, but unfortunately, BB got the Vayne and he was as cursed in lane as that picture.
It's not cursed at all. It looks great.
New Halloween costume, yeah?
I mean, she does have glasses like him. She does have glasses like him. It was...
What a Chad.
It was something, but it was a very, very interesting approach from G2 because it felt from the beginning of the game that they made this choice where they will sacrifice the map state to funnel as much gold as possible into BB because we saw it 1.5k gold up at 14. Everyone else on the side of G2 was equal in gold. All of that was just one big chain of funneling resources into the Vayne to make sure that come mid-game, she is the one who will carry this game.
Yeah, and we have seen some teams try and take this approach, right? Because obviously a lot of teams are talking about the Dragon stack and yada, yada, yada. But we've seen teams like BLG and some of the top teams in the East basically saying, hey, look, we're actually not going to fight you for Dragons 1, 2, or possibly even 3. Essentially, we're just going to play for gold. We're going to look to try and dive top side, take towers, and oftentimes that's where you'll see like Knight and stuff try and go for like even the Lysandra that he picked up the other day and just enable these dives that they can try and play for to spike the gold and say at that 3rd Dragon or 4th Dragon where we're going to fight you, we've so much gold built up that it doesn't matter that you have the early dragons, we're just going to win from then on and secure the later game victory. So I think it is an interesting approach, and it definitely felt to me like this was a similar story for G2 saying, we don't care about the early dragons. If we get this Vayne popping off, we're in a great spot.
I mean, that's the thing, like, talk me through, when does that become the way to go? Because talking to Paris last week, for instance, and we know that Na'Vi loves to stack dragons, especially early. That's one of the win conditions they have. That's something that teams go for usually, and that's something that's easily executable. When do you actually choose to give up on that map state, betting on the fact that you're going to pop off later on? Like, when does it work? When does it become too big of a risk?
Well, we can see right here because Team Heretics went for that approach. They got the first 3 Drakes, and afterwards they decided, okay, we're going to make this cross map. So let's roll out the clip for a little bit. Pause right now. There are 4 plays in the top lane. Team Heretics is saying that, okay, we're going to give this Dragon, and we're going to give time for Senna to get back in the game. Let's stop the Vayne because the Vayne was already accelerated. So let's roll out with it. G2 makes this sort of map opening where they will walk in here, and BB is ignoring this top wave, which is the correct option. But G2 is thinking that this dragon is free. G2 is thinking that we don't need to have BB over here. We already got the setup. But it's 30 seconds to Drake, and he's making a huge mistake walking into this brush. But what I want to criticize soon from Team Heretics, after this whole play unveils, Drake is still not up. This pause right now, this was one of the main benefits of you going for this Drake, for these 3 Drakes in the early game. Because what happens now, G2 is feeling the pressure. G2 is feeling that they always need to overcommit. So let's zoom in on the map over here. You have the time, all that 3K gold from the Vayne, you can easily loop into here because we saw for the rest of the 15, 20 minutes of this game, you can get the pressure, and if the Vayne, the main character, the character that you funneled all of this gold into, she's not there, why are you not going for this? Because you built up to this moment as Team Heretics, and G2 found themselves dropping the ball, and this was the critical moment of the game for me.
And that's why so many teams don't always go for this playstyle, is because it can be incredibly risky, right? Like, sure, you could get this influx of gold, but you still have a team that's on 3rd, 4th Dragon. They can still have choices then of how they want to play around the map. So in this instance now, well, if they killed BB and then immediately gone for Soul, you're now in a 4v5, and suddenly that influx of gold that you just invested in is all gone, right? So you have to be incredibly clean as to how you operate when you're playing this style, because you have to make sure that you're playing around where your gold is on the map, that you're including them in these fights.
Exactly, and you saw how difficult it was for G2. They won a couple of fights in a row, but every time there was a new dragon, it wasn't easy. No matter how fed everyone became on the side of G2, all it took for Team Heretics was one good setup where they're being there first, controlling the vision, and it just becomes nigh impossible. So even though they did all of these things correctly, I still think that going for the 3 Drakes is the correct approach, even though BB became Thanos this game.
Would you see G2 do this against no disrespect to Heretics, of course.
Whoever you name, no.
Another better opponents, let's say, or stronger opponents.
It's rough because they're just psychologically it's just so damn hard with all of this pressure on you walking in here, and Labra finds a great engage here, and it was so late in this game that Team Heretics were the ones who were feeling this pressure. They feel like they were the ones who needed to find this dragon.
But even in this one, Labrov nearly got caught out at the start of it, right? Like, I don't think we're seeing a clean enough version of G2, especially in this series at least, to try and, like, this got very dodgy. Like, they started off, you can see, with the nice gold lead and sure, shot up at the end, but this very easily could have fell over into the Heretics picking up a 4th dragon off of one fight, because Heretics were not particularly sloppy in this game, right? Like, as Odo just broke down, they had a good counter punch on the top lane. They were starting to get the gold into a position where they could actually try and contest. So I think this was a little risky, but I think that's where you kind of need champions that can very quickly overload a point, and that's why I think, like, having on the Camille is what BLG are kind of looking for. These champions that can very quickly start to overload certain points in the map. G2 didn't have that as much in this situation, and I think that's where they started to struggle a little bit come that later portion.
And this is also where you see the improvements from Heretics, because they had all the steps right. They had their methodical League of Legends. How do they make sure that what they did in the early game actually transforms into something better if they want to come back next game?
Well, the foundation is there. They did great, because across Europe, I don't know if you have the stat or not, but having 3 Drakes and then converting that game into a win, you're 14 or 15 in 3. That's a big win rate. And all it came down to this game was the little misstep in draft, I feel like, because the Vayne was just too out of control. And as Finn said, you just had to ban Jinder instead.
And also, I think a little misstep on the level 3 gang top side as well. I think if you hadn't got Tracing going forward at that moment where BB just turns, kills him, and then almost kills the jungler as well, I think it starts to be a very different look. But yeah, I think there was a couple of missteps both in draft and then how they executed once they were in this game that kind of made the wheels fall off a little bit. But that doesn't mean Heretics can't do it for game number 2.
We knew it was going to be a mismatch, but I appreciate the resilience and what Team Heretics came up with today. Can they tie up the series, or is G2 going to take this one home? Let's see after the break.